Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Deep Target Customer Success webinar, January 19th. And David Kingsbury, I'm here with you guys today to go over our automation capabilities. And I have my technology specialist, Jacob, here. Jacob, good morning. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Perfect. No, good. And Helen is not able to join us today, unfortunately. I know many of you just tune in for Helen, but she sends her regards. She's super busy right now, probably working with some of you guys on some of the requests that you've had recently. Okay, so without further delay, we'll jump into automation capabilities, and we'll share some really cool things that many of you know about, but I think you may not remember at times. And I also want to point out that our webinars this year, for the first half of the year, predominantly, are going to be about techniques within the DXP, so that we give you a snippet of here's how it works, why it works this way, how valuable it can be to you. And we thought we'd start with automation because I don't know if you guys are busy, but I'm teasing, you're busy, we know it. And so automation is really, really helpful in a variety of ways. So let's talk about that. What are those capabilities? And then we're going to do a job of joy for one super lucky participant here today. You will get to walk away with a Starbucks gift card in the next couple of days. So let's get started. Well, so why automation? Why is it so helpful? So the easy answer that it's going to save you time, and it's going to actually ensures success of you deploying that capability, where you don't have to put it on your calendar, in essence, to remind yourself to do it. So we like to think that Deep Target is about 95% automated. That just means you have to be ahead of it a bit, but that's what we're going to talk about now. And you can create that capability once, and it's magically going to happen. So that's the real value of it. It's going to save you a lot of time. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Deep Target areas of automation are what we're going to talk about today is within campaign administration, campaign results reporting, campaign ad display, also in data ingestion. So some few tweaks that you may not be aware of, but tweaks not necessarily, but capabilities you may not be aware of in all these areas that would be very powerful for you. Okay, so let's start with campaign administration. So first of all, we have a capability to auto start and stop campaigns. Now, many of you guys may remember this, but it's really, really easy to implement. And we're going to talk about it, and Jacob's going to review it and actually demonstrate it for you, so you see it in the detail of the app itself. Okay. Then we have a really cool capability. Many of you don't take advantage of you, but we think you should. It's called detargeting. So it's going to actually turn off a campaign and then back on based on the level of engagement. Once again, you don't have to do anything about it. You just set it, and it will go and magically work. Thirdly, every campaign that's targeted creates its own audience. Now, you know that inherently, target by rule produces a list, but even more so, the predictive model is going to target or identify the best audience automatically for you as well. And then you can access both of those very simply. And then finally, I highlight a little bit more because very few of you guys take advantage of this really powerful capability. And that's 2 emails that you can set up to automatically occur to share information about engagement, as well as to internally to others in your organization, or to the customer or member directly to help engage. Okay, so there's our areas, and I'm going to start, go ahead and flip to the first one, which is the auto start stop. And I'm going to bring Jacob into the discussion now. So Jacob, why don't you explain where this occurs, how it occurs at this point? Okay.
Awesome. So, yep. So when it comes to your campaign administration, most of it's going to be controlled in the campaign settings available. And so this is going to be where you'll set up the first couple of items, such as the start and stop date and the detargeting feature. And so you'll click on that. And then from there, what you'll see is the ability over on the right-hand side to set the campaign dates. And so the default will always be that you'll have to turn it on and off manually. But if you select those boxes, you can click in the area there and you can set the start and stop date. And so you can set it down to the minute or time of the day there. You can use those sliders to adjust that as well. And so right underneath that then is going to be the detargeting. And so to turn that on, you'll simply select the box there. And once you do that, you'll be able to fill in those 3 areas. And so what you see here is an example of a campaign setup. You'll select the number of days that you want your campaign to run. And at the end of that period, and in this example, it's 30 days. So at the end of that 30 days, it's going to check to see who's met a minimum impression. Did they click? And if they're not showing engagement in the ad, it's going to turn off the campaign for your number of off days. And so this allows the campaigns to automatically rotate in and out, depending on engagement levels for each of your members.
Awesome. And so given this example, it's a campaign that needs to be running longer than 60 days to be effective. So it might be a quarterly based campaign, and it's going to run that first month. And then at the end, it checks to make sure there's been at least 25 impressions and no clicks. And if that's the case, then it will turn off. If there is a click in that time frame, of course, it'll stay on. And honestly, the counter then starts over. Okay, so it's a real cyclical, neat capability that you may not be aware of, but very powerful. It gets that ad out of the way of your customer or member, because we don't believe that they're interested in it right now. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jacob. All right, keep going. And what about this, Jacob? What's this thing?
All right, so we also talked about automatic audience generation. And so here's an example of a predictive model, and you set that up, just like any campaign, you select predictive model audience type. And once that's been created and published, you can find the export audience option from the menu. And so when you click on that, you'll be able to select the fields that you want to export. And so, just a typical example, most customers I work with will choose, to download the list of not only IDs, but maybe first and last names, email addresses, phone numbers, what primary branch they use. And so all that information can be displayed to you so you can identify exactly which of your customers or members are being included in that predictive model or targeted by rural audience.
Awesome. And so the fields that you choose to download, if you go to this export audience button and some fields are missing, it may be that they're not in the data that you provide us. So just reach out to Deep Target support team, support@deeptarget.com, and we can open up, if you will, provide access to those fields so that you can then see them in the app and download them. Correct? Isn't that how that works, Jacob?
Yes. Yep. We have everything hidden for security purposes. So you'll just reach out to us and we'll expose the fields that you request, and that way that they can be included.
Perfect. Okay, great. What about the email, Jacob?
Awesome. So when it comes to email, you'll have another option available for all of your campaigns called email settings. And so if you click on that, it'll take you into the setup page. And so it's going to start off in the notification email. And so what we can do here is 2 different cycles. And so you can set up a notification email. And what this is going to do is it's going to send an email to someone internally and notify them that the ad has been engaged with, or in this case, clicked on. And so you get to set up who is it sending the email to, what is the subject, and then you get to, again, choose the fields that you would like to be included in there. And so the setup that we have there is just going to tell you, this account number clicked on this campaign on this time and day. You can supplement that again, you can add first name, last name, email address, phone number, so that it truly has everything you may need to see exactly who clicked and then follow up. One example of, notification email being used by our customers is if you have, different lending officers who oversee different products or different geographical or zip code areas, you can set it up so that, when certain ads are clicked on, it sends an email notification directly to that lender at your financial institution, and then they can choose, the appropriate form of follow-up. So it streamlines that lead and automates that lead.
That's right. So as soon as a click occurs on a particular ad, this email will be automatically sent with that information of the clicking member or customer to that lending department manager, or that branch manager, whatnot. And so very effective for immediate follow-up as well. Right, Jacob?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect. So that's the first type of email. The second is called click to email.
And so click to email is essentially going to be the reverse of what the notification email. And so instead of sending an email internally, what you're doing is setting up an automated email that goes to the customer or member who clicked on the offer. And so you get to set up, again, the subject line of that email. You get to set the email sender's name. And so you get to essentially spoof that email so it looks like it's coming from someone inside of the financial institution. And then you also get to set a reply to email address. And so if the customer or member does reply to that automated email, it will actually go back to a real person at the financial institution who can then follow up. You get to set the schedule as well. And so it can be, as soon as possible after the click, it can be after X number of days or X number of weeks, or X number of hours, minutes. All of those options are available for you there. One last thing I'll mention is you will be able to, you'll notice open deep target email along the top there. So you will need to use that feature here, and it'll open up our email platform where you can upload email templates. And so you can just put in HTML source code, or you can design the email directly in there, and then you would just select it from the box, whichever email you would like to use for each automated campaign.
And I think we have some basic templates available as well, correct, Jacob?
Yes, we do. And we would be able to help you with any of that. So if you get into this portion, open deep target email, typically we can hold a 15 to 30-minute call where I can hop on there and train you through that or work with you on anything.
Perfect. So like, once again, the beauty of this is as soon as they click, you can shoot them an email and say, hey, just so you clicked, I'm Cindy in our lending department. I'll get with you shortly to follow up with you to see if there's anything I can help with, or you can contact me directly, that sort of thing. But the immediacy. So I'm not sure if many of you have been reading, but as soon as somebody clicks, those digital users like to get some kind of feedback. Certainly they're going to a new URL, perhaps based on the ad, but also shooting them an email to say, hey, we're here to help if we can. That can be very powerful. Okay, so I think, what did I hear? So the other, we're not doing it here, but I heard in the text space, it's even more immediate that people want a response. If they see something in social media and then there's interest, they actually want to see a text come back showing that they're validating their interest. Anyway, it's a pretty amazing set of timings that people are following today, vendors are following to help with engagement. Okay, great stuff. Thank you, Jacob. So that covers basically the first part, which was administration. Lots of ways to automate there. Then inside of reporting, we've got a couple now. Some of them you're very familiar with, and I'll speak to the, oh, you know what, I forgot. I was going to give control over to you, Jacob. You were going to go through in a very quick live environment showing them these capabilities, correct?
Yes, I can do
Perfect.
that.
So I'm going to stop sharing. and let you take over.
Well, it says hosts disabled participant
Comments.
sharing.
Let me grant you. I'm changing the
All
host
right.
to
That
you.
looks like it did it. Are you able to see my screen, David?
I am.
Awesome. So I'm just going to really quickly run through all this. And so when you're logged into your environment, we'll start with adding a brand new campaign. And so this is where it does begin. And so you'll select your targeted audience. And so in this case, we'll either be looking at a targeted by rule or a predictive model. I'm going to go ahead and select predictive model. And then you would just simply select the type of campaign that you may be running for predictive model, and our system will do the rest when it comes to the audience generation. And so you'll create that campaign. And so as you may notice here, we did talk about how if you want to know exactly who's in that audience, I can click on my export audience. And so you see an example here of where it would download, and we're choosing to, exclude the ID, but just provide a first, last name, and email address on each of the qualifying users. If I click OK here, it's going to download a Excel spreadsheet to my machine. And so we also talked about automating the start and stop, which happens in the campaign settings. And so I can come in here and I can set my campaign up ahead of time. And so let's say that maybe this is going to start, immediately at the beginning of next month. I can set that up. It's supposed to run for 1 month. So I can set that up as well. And I can turn on my detargeting. And maybe I want to go for 1 week. If someone sees it 5 times in a week and doesn't click, we'll turn it off for 1 week. And so that will have a double cycle through my 1 month of running this campaign. And so I can set all those features up, save that there. And now that automation is all going to happen behind the scenes for your campaign once it's published.
And actually, yeah, so you do actually publish, but it actually will not turn itself on until the start of that date timing, correct?
Yes. And so
Perfect.
that
Yep.
is key. Yep. Our system will hold the campaign once you publish it, and then push it live on the scheduled start date. And so we also mentioned the email settings available from the menu right here. And so you can come in here and you can see where you can set this up. We do have a drop down as well where you can add some of those other fields. It's another instance of where you just need to, if you don't see the field, the data point in here that you want, like say branch, for example, you just need to reach out to us and we can expose that for you so that that can be inserted into your notification email. If you're also worried about displaying something such as the ID, you can highlight that and mark it as a secure area. And so that will be encrypted when that notification email comes in. And we have a tool that allows you to decrypt that on your machine.
Nice.
And so that's a little bit about that. And if we'll just quickly go through click to email here, you can see where I can fill in my automated email details. Who is it going to reply to? You see the drop down options here where you can set it up. I want the email to go out the next day, the next X day of the week, next week, after how many minutes, hours, or days after the click. And here is where you would select your emails that have been designed.
Email template. Yep. Good.
So
Very good. Thank you, Jacob. Good run through. Perfect. Let me take back over. Now you'll have to do the drop down and make me host. Jacob, please.
oh, yep. No problem.
On my little 3 buttons over there.
Where from more?
No, on my picture, you'll see
yes.
3 dots. Do that pull down.
Yep, that should work for you. I made you the host.
Excellent. Thank you. Perfect. All right. And then the third area we were talking about a moment ago, under reporting, certainly impressions, clicks, accounts opened are captured and continuously captured, and then automated reports via email. So another aspect of that. So we all know about campaign category analytics, and how we can set our dates, our channel, our category, our display, whether block or linear review. But don't forget about our export data here. So the great thing of this is now we can export everybody that clicked, and we have many of you guys are using your data scientist people or just your data analytics people to go, okay, so who did click on these CDs and how often did they click? What's some aspects of them to fine tune their identification of audiences. So really, really helpful there. And then same with account opens. So this are influence conversions. And I can once again set any time period, any setting on the account type, even the campaign, exact campaign that caused or had a positive account open, export that data and analyze it as well. So all that's directly available to you. And then the reporting. So within the drop downs here on the left under the reports section, I can schedule a report. And the one that pops up here is the click report by default. And I know many of you guys are actually already using this, that every morning at 8 o'clock, weekdays on Fridays at 8 a.m. Let's encrypt the password, but with password, but let's go ahead and send the report of everybody that clicked in the last 24 hours off to a particular member in lending. I say member, user in the member department, co-worker, and so that they and their team can follow up on those directly. And in fact, I can do a click report, but I can also do a managed report. And I can set this up automatically to generate a managed report at the end of each month and send it off to perhaps the leadership team or the COO so that he or she has access to the results within DeepTarget in a quick and direct manner. Okay. And I'm a little remiss. I should have mentioned once again our analytics API. We're going to actually look a little closer at that in our next webinar, where you can pull all of this data directly out into a BI dashboard with another tool, so that your upper level management team can also monitor the results in a more unified result across your organization. So that's another one to take to remember as well. Okay, and then the last area we wanted to talk, not the last, the third area was the ad display. And just as a reminder, you can prioritize your campaigns. And what that's going to do is actually interrupt the stack. So if Bob is targeted, he is identified to receive 5 campaigns. We want to set one across the board. We may say that auto loans are very important this month, or CDs. We want that campaign ad to show up first every time a member or a customer is displayed that ad. Or they log into a system. So what we do is go under settings and we prioritize campaigns, and we literally pick and move over the particular campaign to make sure it is prioritized first. Just as a reminder, most of you may be aware, but how is the stack created for a particular digital user? It's first loaded with targeted campaigns and then all user second. But then the prioritized campaigns interrupt that order and puts, for instance, if you had the IRA is important, that would be, and you pulled it over here, that would be the first campaign ad displayed every time they logged into either online banking or mobile each time. Okay. All right. So that's prioritized.
David.
Yes,
David,
sir.
just we had a question come in and it was asking, what is the optimal number of prioritized campaigns?
Oh, the optimal number for so great question. So it's a custom type review because what you've got to look at is what number of campaigns do you have targeting larger groups or smaller groups, because they do tend to, if you have too many running, then you actually push out all the other campaigns that are not set up to be prioritized with prioritization. So the best answer to that actually is to do a one-on-one call with you guys, whoever the question came from, to look at what you have running. And because sometimes it's actually quite all right. If you were just running, let's say, 10 campaigns and they all targeted separate individuals, well, honestly, you wouldn't need to prioritize that. But then it's okay because they don't interrupt each other, if you see what I'm saying. But let's set up a call and have one of our tech people like Jacob review it with you and see what you're planning and what makes sense. Okay. Jacob, do you have anything else to add to that?
Just that, typically as well, I see a lot of our customers identify their number of prioritized campaigns based on their, active strategy. And so you can see a look at this, example right here on the screen. They prioritize deposits, specifically certificates. So that is what is prioritized. And then on the unprioritized side, but still active, you see all of their loan-based campaigns. So they're still offering those products to their respective targeted audiences,
Right.
but the only priority is deposits.
Right. So, and it caused me to think of one other aspect. We have seen some of our customers prioritize something this quarter and then next quarter prioritize something else, but they didn't unprioritize last quarter's. So making sure that only those products or services that are a priority now are being prioritized is important, and then taking them out of the prioritized list so the others do come online. Okay, very good. Okay, so thanks for that question too. Good question. And then ad rotation, very important aspect. How long? So during a session, so a logged in session, I'm going to show a maximum of 10 ads and delay them 7 seconds each. So this is a little bit of science and a little bit of art to make sure that 7 seconds they get the message, that sort of thing. And this is important if you guys are doing 3D Story and you're doing a video as a part of the rotation. You want to make sure the video completes before the rotation then occurs. So some of those aspects are very important to you as well. So we had a conversation about, I had this with one of our customers not too long ago, which what it came down to, how long do you display it? And we say anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds is optimal. And why do we say that? Because honestly, think of a digital billboard, but think of driving down the highway and passing a billboard. How long, when does it come into view and when does it go out of view? And is it, we want a whole set of science about what they're looking at between image and messaging, but how long did that actually occur? So that, I know it's pretty simple, somewhat antiquated, but yet I know a ton of you guys have billboards out there. But think about that as well. Okay. Another fun topic. Okay. Let's see. Oh, one other thing. We're going to show you something special and new that many of you probably have never seen that's coming very shortly. Ready? We are about to release, probably end of this quarter, a new way to rotate ads. So all of you guys may not be aware, but right now it is the ad just blanks out with a new ad displaying. And that's in fact almost 100% of what goes on out there in the industry. But this is, you don't see this type of, we call it the roll. And so this is going to be an option for you to implement in a coming release of Deep Target. We hope this excites you because we're excited about, what we're doing is we're extending that 3D display capability throughout our ad displays. So get ready for that. Jacob, what do you think of this?
I'm excited. I have always enjoyed being able to interact with the ads and to be able to scroll them like that, especially when the 3D Storyteller came out.
Right?
So I'm excited to see this transition over to the banner advertisements as well.
Perfect. Great. So you guys got a sneak preview of some things coming. We got some more coming as well that we'll show in the upcoming webinars. Okay, and then finally, automation within data, the data ingest. So obviously we automate the data ingest, which occurs based on your frequency. We prefer every night, so it's immediately affected. And where we mean about that is as the data changes, it impacts the campaign stack. And what that means is we can impact the campaign stack if Jacob is qualifies for 5 campaigns, and suddenly Jacob takes out that credit card. Within the data, we'll see that and we'll remove that campaign from Jacob's stack. And as well, Jacob, let's say, doesn't qualify for a CD because he doesn't have 5,000 in his savings account today. That's part of the rule. All of a sudden he has 5,000. Now he's going to see a CD with a higher potential interest rate that he could earn on that. So all that's automated, certainly. And then we have one other thing that many of you may not be aware about, we call batch list processing. And that means that if you guys are generating lists to do some of your campaigns with, we can automatically upload lists in your data and tag it directly to your campaign automatically, so you don't have to then do a list upload. Jacob, do you want to explain that real quick?
Yeah, so the way that works is you would just send an additional folder containing those lists with your data upload each month or day or week, or whatever frequency, and it would just have the exact name of the campaign. And so if that's something you're interested in, I would say just reach out to the support team and someone will get with you to help you set that up.
Right. That actually came from a customer saying, hey, what if we just gave you the list? Couldn't you just connect it directly to the campaigns? And we said, you know what, we can do that. So another form of automation there. So great. Okay, so that's everything that we wanted to cover. A bunch of just different areas. I hope this has been helpful to you. We've been excited to tell you about this. We also want to remind you that we have new products capabilities within DeepTarget. We have our on-the-go email, SMS, and social capability that many of you are looking closely at. And we're actually doing a lot of birthday wishing through on-the-go to the microsite with a birthday wish. So if you want to see a demo of that capability, let me know and I'll show you what we're talking about. We do have predictive sales that we are still in beta with a couple of customers. We're refining our machine learning models, but that's very close to coming out. And then managed services. We can run the system for you. So thank you guys. Many of you have already brought us on board. I think we're within a couple dozen customers now running their system. Jacob's one of those technicians, if you will, running the system for them and optimizing it and doing all the work. So that makes it very helpful. Okay, so time for Java Joy. Jacob, can you see who's out there that might be our
drum roll?
Drum roll.
And this month's winner is Jordan Parker.
Jordan Parker, congratulations. You're a big Java Joy winner. Watch for an email here shortly. Super glad to have you here. Hope it was helpful for everybody. And we wish everybody a great month in January. And hopefully we're going to see everybody back next month. We're going to talk about targeting different audiences and how to do that and what are some techniques and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. So thanks everybody for joining us today. Have a great day. Thank you for all you do. Take care now. Bye-bye.